Welcome to the Hamsi Analytics Daily Market Commentary. I'm Pablo Navarro. Today is Thursday, March 29, 2012. Today's economic data. Initial claims came in worse than expected at 359,000 and we're expecting 350,000. But today's number was the best initial claims we've had since 2008 in April. For GDP came in line at 3%. The markets, the S&P 500 futures saw a high of the day of 1404 and a low of the day of 1386.25. We closed at 1398. Today's volume was 1.8 million contracts, a little bit higher than the 20-day moving average at 1.7 million contracts. For the Nasdaq futures, we saw a high of the day of 2773.25 and a low of the day of 2737. We closed at 2759. Today's volume was 250,000 contracts, a little higher than the 20-day moving average of 236,000 contracts. For the market internals, the New York Stock Exchange Advanced Decline Differential closed at negative 554. The Nasdaq Advanced Decline Differential closed at negative 343. There were 10 new 52-week highs for the S&P 500 and 5 new 52-week lows for the S&P 500. As for the volatility, there were 371,000 contracts traded today and 500,000 on the total premiums. For April, the dollar-weighted put-call ratio closed at 1.21 with a 38% of the total reading. But we must take into consideration that the whole day the dollar-weighted put-call ratio was climbing. We started at a very low reading early in the day. On May, the dollar-weighted put-call ratio closed at 0.77 with 30% of the total premiums paid. And June, we closed at 0.53 with 9% of the total premiums paid. Here we have the daily chart for ES. As you can see, we had a big down day today, but then we came up after closing like 3 handles lower for the day, which is not bad at all after the big sell-off we saw in the morning. We touched the 0.6 but then bounced from it. We're gonna look at the intraday 30-minute chart to see it better. As you can see here, we opened around here. We were already down like 5 handles. Then we started selling off throughout the day, making new lows. Then we just stayed on our range, and around 1 Chicago time, we just started to pick up some buyers, and we almost closed at the even for the day. We were up down a couple of handles, but we closed at the height of the day, which was very positive after this big reversal we saw. Here is the weekly chart for the ES. As you can see, we continue to be on the positive 2 sigma channel, which is good. Today we were down for the week at some point during the day, but then we came back up and now we're positive again for the week. If you look at this chart since 2012 or since November, we had never gone down 2 weeks in a row consecutively since this point. So we're keeping a close eye on the close for the week to see how we end the week right now. Okay, here is the daily chart for gold. As you can see, we again had a reversal on gold. We ended up for the day after being down quite a bit. So you see on the intraday chart, this is a 30-minute chart. We started buying at 11, and on a 30-minute we just came up all of the bars. As you can see here, it was a very strong reversal from the lows here. So we'll have to see what happens tomorrow. Still on the daily chart, we're looking at the resistance of 1691, which is the 200-day moving average. And on the downside, first we'll have to break these lows of 1624, and then we'll go to a target of 1600 on the trend line for the weekly chart. For silver, this is the daily chart for silver futures. Same here, we got a reversal today on silver. Ended up higher for the day. Again, we're still looking for the breaking some of the highs we've made here that have been some resistance around the 33 level on the upside, and on the downside we're trying to break the 31, 50, 31 that has been the lows here. Below that, we're probably gonna see high 20s, as we've already mentioned a couple of days ago. Last chart, the VIX. Okay, here we have the daily chart for VIX. As you could see here, the same thing happened that yesterday did. We closed up flat for the day. We were up as much as 8% almost. We crossed the 0.6 intraday, but then failed to finish the day above it. As you can see here, this is the 30-minute chart. These 2 days, yesterday and today, practically the same movement. You can see here we sold off at the end very hard to close flat for the day. The only difference was that yesterday we climbed during the day and today we gapped up on the open, but exactly the same as yesterday. So the VIX is not going higher in here, so we'll keep an eye on the VIX for further movement. Here we have the daily chart for crude oil. As you can see, we broke the support we were looking at, the 104.30 level, 104.50. We were able to close below it. We actually closed below the 50-day moving average at 104.07. We're now looking for the 102.08 level, which is the 100-day moving average. Below that, it could get very fast to the downside, even to a 96.65, which is the 200-day moving average. So we'll see for confirmation tomorrow what goes on the crude market. Have a good day. Talk to you tomorrow.